What is going on, profitable
Oh.
stylist? We was doing profitable stylist yesterday. We're doing stylist from the back room today. I don't even know what we're doing anymore.
That was
Isn't that
yesterday.
awesome? You get used to doing something so often, so many times in a row that you're just, you have no idea.
I got to play Bernard yesterday, except I'm
You got to play Bernard yesterday, right?
Cuter, good morning, SFTB. How's everybody today? Eddie, how are you today? I'm not even going to ask you about your week. I'm just going to ask you, how are you today?
I think it's been productive so far this morning. I think we get things done.
We've been busy. We've been very busy.
We've been busy. I'll tell you that, man.
So we've got a lot on tap for everybody today. We've got. Wait, no, Joy went away on me. Hold on one second, guys.
We've got our beauty quiz. We are discussing daily smoothing cream. I know we're talking about that.
And we're talking about consultations.
We're talking about consultation, and I don't know what you've got for motivation this week, but I always look forward to it.
I've got awesome motivation, and I've got awesome beauty quiz for you today.
So before the beauty quiz, let's do some housekeeping.
No.
Monday, October 7th, it's our definitive hair loss forum. If you or your client is suffering from shedding or hair loss, that's what this program is about. You will learn the science and the reasons of why these things is happening. You will get solutions on how to deal with it. We're also going to be having the director of education from Xenogen himself, Chad White, who's going to be going over hairdresser cutting techniques, styling techniques, and approaches for how to physically deal with creating volume and fullness during this time of shedding and loss. So you'll be able to take those techniques back with you to the salon. And then you're also going to be learning the human side of how to deal with this as well, because I don't think that's talked about enough. The emotional damage that's taken upon somebody who's suffering from shedding and loss. How do you talk to that person? How do you make that person feel good? And how do you keep them motivated and not into despair? So that's what Monday, October 7th is all about, the Definitive Hair Loss Forum. Go to www.htbbeauty.com and you can learn all about it and register there.
Yes. And you get lunch and hours.
Yeah, it's a full day event with lunch included. Absolutely. And yes, you get your hours.
And you get to learn from one of my favorite educators, which is Chad. So
Chad's awesome, man. Chad's freaking awesome.
He's a rock star. So I think you're a little primed and ready for your beauty quiz today.
Let's do this.
All right. Looks and I'd like to say that your eye is healing nicely.
Thank you.
I haven't seen you in a week. I've talked to you 1,000 times, but okay. So here's your first one, and it's true or false. And the primary colors in the color wheel are
red, green, and blue. RGB.
Are blue, red, and green. True or false?
For the color wheel, that's false. For a TV, that's true. Suck it, Trebek. Your mother. Well, was that from Saturday Night Live? What was that from?
Yes, it was Saturday Night Live, where Will Ferrell played Alex Trebek and a bunch of different guys played Sean Connery. It was freaking fantastic. No, you are correct. It is false.
I love doing that in color classes all the time.
That's why when I was doing this, I was having a flashback because the first time you did it, we were in front of about 300 people, and you were the primary colors are blue, red, and green, right, guys? And like 3/4 of the room, they're all going, yeah. And then there's one lady in the back going, excuse me, wait. That was fantastic. So
the primary colors of the color wheel are red, yellow, and blue. Okay.
We forget. You know what? You forget it. You forget. I mean, it's ingrained in our souls, but how many times have you been back mixing something and go, wait a minute?
Well, because we're so worried and focused on ashy. Or excuse me, on brassiness that we're always overusing ashy colors.
Right.
So we're so used to working with some aspect of green or blue or teal And somewhere in that wheelhouse, even Violet sometimes, we're so focused on that I think we forget um, that yellow matters. We're so anti warmth that we forget that yellow is the primary reason why we get warmth.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a good question. I like that question. That's a fun one.
Okay, here's another one for you, because this is a great one. Because we all talk. We have a client at least once a month ask us this question. Okay, true or false? Shampooing every day can cause your hair to be greasy.
So greasy. So greasy.
True or false?
That's why I don't wash my hair that's why I wash my hair once every 14 days, so it doesn't get greasy. And I cack on 3 cans of dry shampoo an hour. I just have a box truck backed up into my garage so I could just stand there and just spray with one of those ventilation masks, so the aerosol it keeps everything dry. It just keeps everything dry,
So true or false?
That is so false, man.
Shampooing every day can cause your hair to be greasy.
Okay, you know what? It could be true, because if you're removing too many natural sebum and your body's trying to balance itself, I'll say that's true. If you shampoo every day, you might be over cleansing, and it's forcing your body to balance itself out, so it might overproduce.
Well, and that's where, according to the American Dermatological, I can never pronounce that correctly, association, constant scalp cleansing will cause your scalp to overproduce oils. So yes, you are correct.
This dermatology association, what you got there, man? They got tricky question.
Well, they know about the skin. I would hope.
I hope so.
Oh. Okay, here's a great one, and here's another one. I kind of wanted. When I was putting this together, I was thinking about conversations last week that I had with clients, and so this one comes. What causes split ends?
Hairdressers.
A. Excessive brushing.
Mia.
B. Heat styling. C. Chemicals. Or D. All of the above.
No, all of the above. Anything and everything causes split ends, man.
Right.
Breathing causes split ends. Just stop breathing. Just hold your breath.
D. All the above. Yes. So, nothing to add to that, huh? Other than you should have your...
Split ends is a thing, okay? Yeah, it's the natural course of what's going to happen. Anything at the ends of anything is going to get ratted and tatted. And that's just what it is. Now, on clothing, we call that the distressed look, and that looks cool nowadays. But growing up, I can't tell you how many times I had a tear in my jeans and my grandma would throw a patch over it. And I'm like, nah, grandma, like that's supposed to be cool. I can't tell you how many times my sister, she had like the shorts with the, like the cut shorts, and that was supposed to be,
yeah.
And then she'd go hem the shorts. And my sister would be like, well, these are ruined.
Yep.
And my grandma, why, you want to look like a homeless?
Right.
So, you know what? The ends are the ends. Now, when it comes to hair, I hate to tell you. Oh yeah, I got a true false question for you. True or false? Split ends counts as length.
True.
Oh, really?
It's true. I used to work with a woman who was awesome, and she always used to say if she didn't have split ends, she would have no texture in her hair at all.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right,
I
you
don't know,
ready?
man. We could do a whole segment just on split ends
Split
alone.
ends. Okay, you ready? What is a common ingredient in hair products that can cause buildup and weigh down the hair? A,
Ooh,
aloe, B, glycerin, C, silicones, or D, shea butter?
damn. Ooh, I don't know. I'm gonna go with glycerin.
You
It
are
might be
close.
silicone, but I'm gonna go with glycerin.
Well, your second guess was correct. Silicones.
Okay,
Because
okay.
silicones will actually build up on the hair. And like we've always talked about, you have that client that doesn't listen to you, and she goes and buys the iron from the little kiosk at the mall that goes right to 450, and then she goes and buys something that's heavy duty silicone, sprays it in her hair, and then she hits it with that 450-degree iron. Basically, you're just laminating the hair. I mean, water will beat up on it, it'll be nice, but yeah.
Isn't that like Rain-X for the car?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice,
So then maybe that'll fix the split ends.
well, that's exactly it. It glues them together. It'll glue them together.
And then you don't have to shampoo every day. It all comes around full circle.
Exactly.
You have the blend. Your beauty regimen for the week.
This
Just
is
go to town and make your hair go to hell in a handbasket.
yes, that's it. Would you just get lamination sheets? That's going to be Eddie and John's new hair extensions.
Ooh-wee.
So yes, silicones will build up on the hair and weigh it down.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So this is a great one because you're gonna lose your mind and cry. Okay, because you always cry. You always cry when I ask you a history question. And this is a true or false. True or false, the Dinka tribe of Sudan for centuries has used cow urine to lighten their hair.
True. That
It
is so true.
It is
Where
true.
would you?
You're welcome. I fell down a rabbit hole, and when I came across that question, I just went, "Oh yeah."
Now that is some history that I can get behind. Okay, that's how you ask a history question.
And since they're all dark haired like you and I, that bronzy, like sun-in color that they get from putting cow pee on their hair and being out in the sun, yeah, and it's a form of status in this tribe in the Sudan.
Okay, I don't know how appropriate this is, so I'll try to paraphrase this as much as possible, and then maybe you fill in the blank or
just laugh.
At the salon last night, we were talking about showers, and we were talking about, like everybody was freaking out about it and going, ew, that's gross. So we were saying, well, at least it's disinfectant. It's an alkaline, right? So it will, at a minimum, like you'll be okay. And everyone's like, that's not a thing. Like, I'm like, what? Isn't that like if you get bit in your leg or if you get
by
bit
a jellyfish?
So you're supposed to pee on a jellyfish or pee on the part of the jellyfish that bit you, right?
Wasn't that a Friends episode?
I have no idea.
Where, okay, I might be wrong. Whoever's watching, let us know.
I never watched Friends, so I don't know. I know that it was a show. I know that much, but yeah, it is very alkaline. Urine is very alkaline.
Mm-hmm.
And if you soak in it long enough, that's not good. It is basically your body's excess liquids with the nutrition retracted or used up.
Whatever your body doesn't need, it comes out in that.
So I don't recommend it.
No, no. And we're going to stop this conversation right here.
That's the best way. Look, I am trying to behave myself right now.
Because this is going to spiral downward really, really quick. And then we're getting noticed from YouTube, okay? So we're going to stop right here. And your last question question of the day.
Yes.
True or false? The consultation is the most important part of the hair service.
Absolutely true, man. It is the most important part of the service. It's the most important of everything we do.
So, with that being said, walk me through a consultation with Eddie the stylist. Besides, sit down and be quiet and put your phone down.
Yeah, right. Consultation really sets up everything. It's the key to everything. All right. Client walks in. If I'm in the middle of a client myself and the next one walks in, I'll pause for a moment and acknowledge that the person walked in. All right. I'll tell them, please have a seat momentarily. I'll be with you as soon as possible.
Right.
If I kind of know the client, and I kind of know the client in my chair, like everybody, you know your clients. Bring that client over, turn it into a little party. Then the person doesn't feel like they're waiting so long.
Right.
Maybe they came early, maybe they came late, maybe you're running behind schedule. Who knows? So that's how I deal with it when they initially walk in, because that's when the consultation starts. The second that person walks in and you engage with them, that's when the consultation starts. Okay. And how you dictate and control yourself controls the whole mood of everything. Okay. Now you're ready for the client, actually ready for them. Walk over, shake their hand. If you're a hugger or if they're a hugger, and if you've known each other for a little while, because I'm talking about both, whether they're a new client or an existing client,
right?
Then they may want to embrace you and somehow and show their closeness. So, okay, fine. Hi, mama, whatever. Sit down. So now have a seat. Let's take a look and see what's going on. Before we get started, you want something to drink? You want some water? You want some coffee? You want a tea, a wine, or something? On Thursday nights, I'm talking about we drink, but not during the week, during the day. So we have our own little happy hour thing going on Thursday night. And yesterday was Thursday night, so it's fresh in my mind still. And then, yeah, sure, I'll have a drink. Yeah, no, I'm good, whatever. Okay. Let me grab my brush. Start telling me about your hair since I last seen you. Or if they're a new client, let me grab my brush. Tell me about your hair journey. What have you been dealing with that brought you here up until now, And I just grab my brush. I have a small paddle brush that I like in particular. And I be quiet and I start listening to them. And I go behind them and I start sectioning their hair section by section. I start brushing their hair. While they are speaking, I may throw in a clarification question in case I get confused and misunderstand something. I may just acknowledge and say, yeah, sure. Okay, I understand. Or, oh, that's cool. Words of acknowledgement, affirmation, things like that. But for the most part, I do not interrupt. I let them go. Let them speak. And while I'm brushing through their hair, I'm checking the condition of their scalp, whether it's dry or it's oily. Do they have abrasions, lesions, whatever? What's the condition of their scalp? Is it tight? Is it soft? I'm also feeling their hair.
Right.
So I want to feel for, as best as possible, texture, density, and porosity. I also want to visually look at what they got going on. Split ends, outgrowth, the color in general. Do they keep it up? Do they not? Do they have gray? If they do, what is going on with that too? There's a myriad of things. And then I'm also looking, while I'm brushing through, I'm lifting up their hair in different angles. I want to check their layers, their haircut, and their style. I also want to see how many tangles they have. Oh, speaking of, if their hair is in a ponytail or in a bun, I'll ask them to pull it out. I won't pull it out myself because I want to observe how delicate they are with themselves or how rough they are with themselves.
Right.
So
right.
All of that. So I'm doing that, and I'm kind of pacing myself with how long they're talking for. Some people, they don't talk so much. Some people, they talk for a long time. If I get done before they're done talking, like they're still talking and I'm done brushing through their hair, I'll just quietly walk around and I'll lean up against my station and I'll just listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then after they're done, now I'm going to engage with them. I have a little chair and I have a little stool. So depending on which one is which, how tall or short they are, I'll pull the chair forward a little bit, or I'll pull up the stool and I'll have a seat. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get level. I'm trying to get eye to eye level with them, maybe slightly lower than their eye level. Okay.
Right.
It's a psychological thing. If
Mhm.
you're eye to eye, you're equal. If you're slightly lower, you're lesser. If you're slightly above them, then you're overbearing, you're overpowering them.
Right.
It's a psychological response. You can't control it. It's human nature. So I try as best as possible to stay eye to eye level with them. That's why I sit. I also turn their chair sideways away from the mirror. So now it's us. This is the only thing that matters is
Right.
the two of us right now. We're engaged. And if they're a new client, I'll give them multiple options of what we can do. We can go this way to achieve the look that you're looking for. We can go that way to achieve another look that you're going for. You know, if you do this, it's going to require this kind of maintenance. If you do this, it's going to require that kind of maintenance. The details of the maintenance while I'm doing your hair we'll go over, but for the sake of time, you know, we could do it this way or this way. Which way would you rather do? Right? And it's going to cost this much. I always bring up the cost straight away so it doesn't get awkward at the end. If it's an existing client, I do this thing where I give all my clients seasonal trends. I got spring, summer, fall, winter. It's just something I made up with existing clients. And basically it's my excuse to say, you know what? We're starting to move into the fall season now. Do you want to enjoy your summer look one last time? And the next time I see you, we're going to start changing you into your fall look? Or do you want to start moving into your fall look now?
Right.
And it's really simple. Yeah, no. I really like what you've been doing lately. I want to keep it one more time. I don't want to change just yet. Or, you know what? Yeah. That's a great idea. Actually, I'm over this. Let's start changing into the next thing. That change could be a half a shade lighter, a half a shade darker. It could be one extra layer. It could be one less layer. It could be a quarter inch shorter, a quarter inch longer. It doesn't matter. The point is, we're never repeating the same look on them more than 2 or 3 times.
Right.
They're constantly evolving. They're used to it by now. I don't have to worry about that same 6N with 20 volume for the past 10 years. All of a sudden, it's not covering gray anymore. Because now, you know, before she was only 5-10%, now she's 80-90%. You know, now I got to do 6M with 10 volume, you know, and then everybody's going to, 10 volume doesn't cover gray. Yeah, it freaking does. So I don't have to get stuck in these conversations that are asinine. Okay. That's why my consultations are easy. I go mix up the color.
Are you sure 6M and with 10 volume covers gray, Eddie?
You got to put the little goofy. Oh,
I don't know why you killed me.
You know? So,
okay.
And then I get into the service. Now, while I'm doing the service, you can either talk about life. You know, did you see that ludicrous display last night? What were they thinking running the ball in like that? Whatever. You could talk about Friends or whatever TV show is going on right now. You could talk about whatever gossip is happening in the world. Or you can continue the consultation in more further detail. You know, as I'm coloring your hair, these are the things I need you to keep an eye on. This is how I need you to shampoo. This is how I need you to wash and dry. Blah, 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 blah. I'm cutting your hair like this because we were talking about creating that style. So at home, I'm going to need you to do this, and this.
Right.
When you come back in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever weeks, you know, then this is the next step. We're going to be talking about this, and this. So I carry on my consultation during the service. And then I only leave maybe 5 or 10 minutes for actual gossipy whatever.
Yep.
And that's usually when the blow dry is going. So I don't hear half of it over the blow dryer anyways. I don't have to be so zeroed in because the blow dryer is going. So half the thing, I don't even understand what's happening anyways because I'm tuned out. I don't care. So that's how I run my consultation.
Right.
Pick it apart or build upon it. What do you think?
Here's what, you know what, because on a bunch of different occasions, we have actually worked side by side. I've picked up things from you, things that really make sense to me that you've done. As far as especially what I stole from you was the different seasonal looks for my clients.
You love that.
I love it. I love it, and they love it though. They love it, and it was so simple and it's such a no-brainer. And all you have to be is a little organized and make notes, which I make notes on all my clients anyway.
It's easier than saying, do you want to go darker or do you want to go lighter? It's just a more fancy, hidden way of saying, do you want to go darker or lighter?
It's a more thoughtful way, to be honest with you, number one. Number two, you know, I always tell the story. I worked next to someone for a really long time, and this person would mix up, had the bottles set of the first 4 clients. You haven't even talked to them. They haven't even come in yet. You've got the bottles ready to go because this person was a bottle baby and would just shake it up. Oh, we're doing the same thing. All right, sit down, hon. Are you doing the same thing? Okay. Okay, go sit down. You know, that's not what we do anymore. And that's what sets yeah, I could go crazy on this. I could really go crazy on this. But and that's, you know, really that's a subject for another day. I'm going to stop ranting because I'm but anyway, but a lot of eye contact I do with my clients. I do the same thing. I spin them around. I have a small little wheelie stool. I sit down for a couple. It's 2-3 minutes of just connecting with them to begin with. And we go over, you know, concerns, blah, 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 blah. But I tend to mainly focus on their hair service, their hair. And I'm not really, what we were talking about when you and I were talking about this yesterday was not current events or pop culture. I know little to nothing about pop culture. Half the things I read, I like when I go on Facebook, half the things I see, I'm like, what? It's just not my thing.
You want to know something weird about pop culture?
What's that?
So last night at the salon, they're like, hey, Eddie, what do you think of P. Diddy? I go, you peed on what? And that's what started the whole conversation about P. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. They're like, P. Diddy, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. So then Sabrina goes, Eddie, what do you think of Sean Combs? I'm like, oh, that entrepreneur rapper guy, you know? And then the client's like, dude, seriously, you know Sean Combs, but you don't know P. Diddy? I'm like, Sean Combs, I read about him in like Forbes. I read a business article about how he had, you know, how he grew his business. They're like, and they're just doing this. Ow, God bless. And they're going, still hurts.
You
and
deserve that.
And they're going, you know, seriously, dude, you got to get with the times. They're like, it's the same person. P. Diddy is Sean Combs. I'm like, okay.
But see,
talking about pop culture, right?
Right. I know nothing. I know nothing about it. I know, you know, and when clients want to talk politics with me because I have such a extreme view, I believe we need to go back to the way the ancient Greeks used to do it, and any improprieties they were just and I don't care if it's red or blue. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Just no. We're here to talk about your hair. We're here to get you feeling good about yourself, and I'm just not going to do this. But also,
when somebody brings up politics to me, I go, help me understand. You got an elephant and you got a donkey. I'm done interrupting you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Because my favorite comment to them is, oh, if it's a politician and its lips are moving, it's lying. And that usually breaks the whatever, you know, because everybody's so, yeah. Anyway, I can't even get into it. But what I also do is I start mixing in my product recommendations, my retail sales. I start that right away from, you know, after I do the same thing you do, section by section with my ergo detangling brush. I love the gentle brush. Most people are like, oh, you know, And I do it almost the same way, but I do mix in my retail with that, and I also mix it a couple of times. I will mention retail throughout the service, because if I'm doing all this work, I want them to keep it looking good too, and then that way, if it's looking good, they're taking care of it at home, and they get more longevity. The rigmarole with that. It consultation to me is the most important part of the service. And like I said, with retailing and your consultation, they go hand in hand. And really setting your client up for that success with then making retail recommendation. Even for me, even if they're back in the shampoo bowl and whatever shampoo I'm using or conditioner I'm using on them, I tell them about it. This is what this is. This is how, I want you to make how your hair feels. Now, along the retail line, though, of the retail part of the service, Eddie, how do you approach that?
The retail part of the service is all about maintaining everything we're talking about, because the whole consultation starts off with, I want to look like this. In order to get you to look like this, yeah, we could do your color this way. Yeah, we can cut your hair and layer your hair this way. We could style your hair this way. But the way you're going to keep it looking like that is going to be done through shampoo, through conditioner, through styling products. If you don't want any of that maintenance, you don't get to look how you want to look. You're just going to look like your ancient gladiator times, and good luck. And that's just the plain and simple of it all. So the entire time I'm applying hair color, I'm talking about shampoo and conditioner with them, because that directly affects and relates to the hair color part of it. While I'm cutting their hair, I'm letting them know the reason why I'm cutting their hair is because when they put whatever gel, mousse, boost, spray, spritz, whatever, this is the reason why I'm layering it the way that I'm layering it. When I'm going to start blow drying it, the product that I'm physically putting into their hair, I'm letting them know this is why and where I'm doing it. I've even had it where it is not beneath me to hand my client the retail bottle and let them put the product into their own hair and start blow drying their own hair. And I'm just sitting there observing them blow drying their own hair, because the words, I love when you do it. I can never make it look the same. As soon as I hear those words, I am not blow drying your hair. You are, this just got turned into a class. You are blow drying your own hair, and I'm going to guide you. There is no way you walking out of here thinking you can never make it look like how it looks like here. Yeah, there's no way you can't make it look at home how you can make it here. That's not happening.
Right.
There's no way that's happening.
Right.
So I legit go get a couple of extra towels. I get, hand them the product. They can clean their hands. They can do whatever they want afterwards. I'm just saying it turns into a class. They end up blow drying their own hair. And then I'll go in afterwards and touch it up and give them a couple of tips and tricks as we're doing it. This is how you do it, So the whole retail aspect of things, I'm guiding them. I'm explaining it to them, not selling them. I'm letting them know that I do have these products available. These are the reasons I'm choosing these products.
Right.
And then I also let them know that if they decide to get it from me, I guarantee everything. You can use it. You don't like it, bring it in. Somebody else will use it, or I'll use it myself. So I'll exchange it to you. I don't care. There's no risk involved whatsoever.
That's exactly what I do. I tell them, you don't like this, bring it in. I'll swap it out for something else. I have no problem with that. I don't do a hard sell. It's not a hard sell. I mention it. We talk about it. I leave it up to them. But I also have a blow dry station inside in my studio, and a lot of my clients prefer to blow dry themselves. But I use that because then I get to watch them, how they style their hair, how they attack their hair.
We talking about retail next week, right?
Yeah, we're talking about retail
next week.
Yeah,
that'll be a good conversation. Retailing tactics.
Yeah.
That'll be a good conversation. Let's even if we're not talking about retailing next week, we are talking about it now. Because no, it's a good segue. No, it's like it's a good topic to bring up.
It is
Because it goes hand in hand with the consultation.
Right.
A good consultation should be setting up your client for all the success and the expectation, not only at the salon but at home as well too, in between their next visit. That's what a good consultation is.
Yeah, but I think it's genius to actually let your client get after their hair a little bit with tools and things like that, because then that gives you an idea of what you're going to be facing down the line, as far as what they actually do to their hair. You know, and really a lot of times, because I can never get where their part is straight, so I will hand them the tail comb. I'll be like, do me a favor, part your hair for me, you know, and because they've been doing, but it also gives me a chance to see what they do to their hair when we're not there, standing over them, or I think it's amazing. But yeah, I think consultation is still, it's the biggest part, and it's setting them up for their next service too. 100%. So with that being said, what do we got left here? What are some of your favorite retail products?
I want to talk about Daily Smoothing Cream.
Tell me about
Care Therapy has a product called Daily Smoothing Cream. It's a blowout cream, and it's a treatment in a bottle. It's a keratin smoothing treatment in a bottle, and just as its name states, it's daily. You could use it every single day, and it'll hold and last until the next time you wash your hair. It'll give you all the benefits without the longevity of a smoothing treatment. It'll defrizz, it'll add the moisture, it'll control the static and the flyaways, and it'll give you that sleek, smooth shine that everybody's always going for. And it's amazing to help blow the hair out. And especially if you're going to be doing a flat ironing afterwards, or curling iron, you're going to do some kind of heat styling after a blowout, it just sets everything up amazingly. So, and it comes in a nice consistency. It's a cream consistency.
Mm-hmm.
It's not overly thick. It's not overly thin. And it works out really, really nicely. She wants attention. You just have her in your lap. She'd take up the whole screen, but at least
she's not listening. There's someone up front that she has to yell at. Sorry, guys. She's Mrs. Kravitz. She sits in the front window and she monitors the whole neighborhood. Daily Smoothing Cream is one of my favorite products. I love it. I think that, and it's so simple for the client to use, because if I can use it, I know my client can use it. And it is basically a portable keratin treatment, because you're infusing that carrot I never get this right. What's the proprietary Care Therapy? It's
the Carabon technology.
I can never, you and the word purple and me and Carabon technology. Go ahead, say the word purple.
This is how I remember how to say it. Purple rhymes with turtle.
Sure.
If I say it that way, it does.
I highly recommend it. I think that
recommend turtles.
Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Don't make fun of them. I have all the original toys in a box somewhere. But anyway, with Daily Smoothing Cream, I challenge everybody that's watching us, get a tube of it, check it out. You won't be sorry. Your clients won't be sorry. It's just the hardest thing you're going to have is keeping it on the shelf, really. That is one of the first ones that goes. I mean, if I had the extra room, I would probably order it by the case, because that way I don't have to keep bothering Cindy at the office.
You know what's interesting about the Daily Smoothing Cream? It's won 12 or 14 Stylish Choice Awards.
Yeah.
Isn't that mental?
That's crazy.
That's a lot.
That's
a lot. So over a decade, it's been winning Stylish Choice Awards. That speaks volumes for itself.
And because of everything that's in it, and we'll go back to our question, one of our quiz questions is, it's going to also slow down on split ends because you're keeping those ends hydrated with Daily Smoothing Cream.
But it won't help laminate the hair because it's too healthy for the hair.
But it'll slow it. Like I said, it'll slow down the split.
It doesn't have the silicones in it.
You love silicone.
It won't build up on the hair.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
no, it really won't build up on the hair, which is really amazing too. That's one of the other nice things about it. So regardless of, because a lot of people are like, oh, this is only for thin hair. This is only for thick hair. This is only for curly hair. This is only for straight hair. People with straight hair still should blow dry their hair because you're going to get the frizzy static flyaways, and then people with the wavy curly hair, I mean, that's a no-brainer. If you want to blow dry your hair straight, it'll help blow dry your hair straight. But more than anything, especially the transition period from going from either the summer into the fall, where it's going to start getting cooler and you're going to not have as much humidity and moisture into the air, the Daily Smoothing Cream is going to help retain that level of hydration into that hair. And then conversely, during the winter, cold, dry months, it's going to help build that moisture and that hydration into the hair. And then when you're transitioning into the spring, it just with the freak out in the temperature changes and the weather changes, it's going to help level that transition off.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
So are you ready for your motivation?
It is my favorite segment.
Okay. And this is a deep one. This was a deep one. Someone sent me a video last night. We don't want to mention any names. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Ooh, yeah.
Comparison is the thief of joy. I'm going to let you get after this first, and then I'm going to get after this.
It's interesting. It's really, really fascinating. It's really, really interesting because in life, we measure our personal worth and our personal value based on how we measure up against somebody else or something else. And generally speaking, that's all measured by the value of success. And then even a successful person cannot enjoy their own personal success because they think they need to be more successful. Now, there is a difference between being driven and there's a difference between enjoyment. You can still enjoy where you're at and still strive to become more. You totally can, and you should. You are you. You are awesome. You are worthy. You are amazing. All those words of reinforcement and affirmation, right? Tell them. She agrees. As soon as you unmute, that's when she barks. She knows what's up. But that's the whole point, when you start comparing yourself to somebody else, or when you start comparing what you got to what somebody else has got, those are all negatives. And those negativities, they turn into resentments, which is the complete opposite of joy. How do you get to enjoy what you've accomplished? So it's that's how it means for me, man.
For me, I learned a long time ago not to measure myself up to anybody else. What other people do has no bearing on what I do. I learned about what makes me happy, and I learned about what keeps me humble. And I never look at somebody and I guess basically to put it in a nutshell is jealousy and comparison is a killer. It's an emotion killer. People I know are successful, I'm happy for them. It makes me happy, and that motivates me, because if someone I know can achieve what they want, why can't I achieve what I want? And I really don't, when you and I started doing this, I had someone go, "Oh, you guys are just trying to be this this that's going, I don't want to mention any names, but you guys are just doing this because of this." And I kind of looked at this person and I went, "No, that's not it at all. We're just doing this because these are the conversations that go on between the two of us. And someone said we should share this with everybody else." And it's true. I mean, guys, everything you watch, these are all at some point in time in the past 18 years, by the way.
Whoa.
We've had these conversations, something along these lines. So, this is just us sharing what goes on between us. And that's why you and I, we work so well together, is because we don't have that competition with each other, because both of us want to see the other do better than I'm doing. And that's really the driving force. So really, comparison is the thief of joy.
Now I want to poke the bear. Can comparison be positive?
I don't think, you know what? I don't think so.
I do think so. So why do you not think so?
I don't think so. And and especially in what we do. Okay. I want clients to see me and come to me for me. Not because not because I foil like Eddie does, or I do hair extensions like Bernard does. No, I don't think so. I don't want to be compared to anybody. So I disagree.
Okay, I understand the viewpoint of which way you're saying it from. I guess I was looking at it from a personal viewpoint. So I do self comparisons in the effort of trying to gain knowledge and wisdom. So I try to see what somebody else did, and I try to see the success they had and the failures they had, to see how can I try to mimic that in my way. Will it fit with the direction I want to go? And can I avoid certain things that person did, versus can I take certain things that person did and try to build upon it, if I do feel like it even applies to me to begin with. So what do you think of that from that perspective, from that like self perspective viewpoint then?
I see what you're saying. I see where you're coming from with that. I think it's all about,
or is it a slippery slope?
It is. I think it's all about perspective.
Okay.
But from my background and the things that I've experienced along the way, I prefer to just stand on my own 2 feet, and it's what I can do. And if anything, maybe not comparison, but is there someone that I look up to and that you strive to be? Yes. But I don't want to ever be a knockoff of somebody else.
Yeah, no, I understand. Those are two different things.
And like back when, and when I train people, and especially back when I was training for the color department, training all our new young colorists, and I used to tell them all the time, no, I don't want you to be me. I don't want you to mimic, take the information, the knowledge that I give you, store it in the back of your head. But I want you to be you. I want clients to come to you because you're, Sally, or because you're Steven, not because you're, John trained you. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Totally.
And I learned that personally from the woman that trained me. I always talk about Teresa. I mean, she's up there looking down, probably shaking her head at me every day, because she used to kick me And she used to tell me the same thing. She would always tell me, be you. You don't have to do things exactly my way. I'm just giving you the information. You put your own flair, you put your own twist on it, because clients are going to come to you for you. And that leads into this segues into another avenue, and that is never pay attention to what other people's books look like. What do you care? Why is that is not your problem? If that person built a business, other than if you see a fully booked book and you go, yeah, that's what I want, or no way am I ever going to work like that ever, whatever.
Perspective. Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? But I think that you have to be you. You have to be you. Striving to be like somebody, yes, but don't compare, apples for apples, oranges for oranges with other people. I think that's a very slippery slope, to quote your words, and I think that it will work to your detriment more than your positive, more than be something positive. That's my opinion. That and a buck gets you a cup of coffee.
Haha. Not Starbucks.
I would drink Starbucks.
Well, that's what we got. What do you guys think of comparison? Let us know, because it's an interesting topic. I think it's a really interesting thing. Next week, we're going to have some more multiple choice beauty quiz, because the multiple choice ones are tricky.
I think next week we're going to go purely hair history.
Yeah. Suck it, Trebek. Right. So, yeah. Next week we'll do some beauty quiz, multiple choice beauty quiz stuff. That'll be interesting.
And guys, coming up in a future episode, we're going to switch roles. Eddie's going to put together a quiz, and I'm going to answer.
You'll all fail. If I put a quiz together, y'all fail.
Well, coming up. I have to work on him on this. Every time I bring it up, he says that same thing, and he gets that look on his face. So we will see you guys back here next Friday.
What are we talking? We're discussing retail next week, and then what else are we discussing?
We're discussing retail next week.
Are we talking hair extensions next week?
Why are you being this way? Hold, please.
We haven't done toning in a while.
I think we're doing toning next week.
Okay, cool.
So. What's the date for next week?
Yeah, the 27th.
Yeah, definitely 27th. Yeah. We are talking about winter products for your client's hair in the winter.
Ooh, nice. Okay, cool. Very, very cool. Okay, then that's what we got coming up for next week. The little sneak peek, little sneak preview. Thanks for watching as always, guys, and we will catch you next week.
Bye, guys.
The SFTB podcast was not recorded in front of a live studio audience, so thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our caller to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest